Welcome to the Perfectly Integrated Podcast, hosted by Matt Ackermann, where we show the power of teamwork in wealth management. Now, onto the show.
Marketing. Marketing is this interesting four-letter word in the financial advice industry. Or maybe more accurately, marketing can make you scream some four-letter words. Advisors know they need to market to help grow their business, but how can you be both effective and efficient with your marketing at the same time? Welcome back to Perfectly Integrated. I'm Matt Ackermann, and today we're talking marketing because, let's be honest, most advisors aren't great marketers. If they were, they'd probably be marketers instead of financial advisors. So most advisors need a boost, and that's what my next guest is. She is the boost for your marketing, especially for our advisors here at Integrated. We have an amazing network of advisors, and for 20 plus years, she's been helping make them better. Welcome, Becca Zophin, the Chief Marketing Officer at Integrated's InTouch Innovations. Becca has worked here at Integrated through a lot of twists and turns and through a lot of marketing fads, and she's been an incredible foundational constant for our growing network of advisors. Becca, welcome.
Thanks, Matt. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. I'm so excited that we get to chat today, and I'm going to start big. What do you think is the biggest marketing mistake you've seen an advisor make?
Truthfully, doing nothing at all. I think that we all know marketing is probably one of the most important elements of an advisor's thriving practice. And if that piece of the pie is missing, it's just sort of that element that makes everything come together. So at Integrated, we make it so incredibly easy for an advisor to market in the most effortless way possible because we do all the heavy lifting and we take it off their hands. And we also understand that putting yourself out there as an advisor is scary, and having to do all the legwork is quite daunting. So I think we really do a great job of taking it out of the advisor's hands and letting them flourish.
So how do you get that skeptical advisor who's sitting there saying, I don't want to do anything. I've got a great business. I've got a model. I've got clients that flow in naturally. How do you get them to go from zero to hero? How do you get that advisor to kind of see that power of great marketing and how it can help their business flourish?
So one of my favorite statements that I got from John Pastore, who runs our professional partner program, is we're a guest in the advisor's home. So we always want to do what the advisor is most comfortable doing. And we have a great ability to listen to the advisor and really get a feeling for where they stand from a comfort level. And then what I try to do is just make suggestions, little bites, little pieces here and there of little things that they can be doing to improve or at least get their footing in marketing. We have some advisors that they've been able to succeed without a website. So I might politely suggest, why don't we start with a no frills, just little website that just has a little bit of information about you. And then if they're comfortable with that, then we can move to the next step and maybe get a more robust site for them.
Over your 20 years in Integrated, have you seen an evolution occurring? Are you seeing more advisors that are coming in the door recognizing the importance of marketing, the importance of a website? I mean, are you seeing that evolution of advisors as the industry continues to change?
Definitely. One of the pleasures I have at Integrated is being able to meet some of the new advisors that are either thinking about joining us and then actually eventually join us. And one of the greatest things about marketing is that no two advisors are the same. Everybody has really different ideas of where they want their practice to go. And we as a team are able to step in and really, take a snapshot of where they are now and take them where they want to go. So we are seeing advisors, not only has marketing evolved over the years, but we're seeing advisors evolve in terms of what they're willing to do and get out there. I mean, you've seen it with advisors even wanting to start their own blog, which, I think 5 years ago, I don't think a lot of our advisors would have really wanted to take that step.
Yeah, we're writing a lot of great blogs now with our advisors. And I think so many of them, we've gotten them to realize, hey, what got you here to this point in your career is not going to get you to there where you're hoping to get to. And trust us, we've been at this a while and we can get you to the next step. Sometimes the biggest challenge for me is keeping that advisor focused. They love the ideas. They love the big picture, but getting them to kind of do the work in between, whether it be writing a blog, creating a video, or, the regular blocking and tackling is hard. How do you keep that advisor focused? How do you get them to be more intentional when it comes to marketing?
So intentional is really a key word here. I think you really do need to be intentional and you need to be focused on your goals. One of the things I really like to remind advisors is that marketing is just one part of your personal promotion. And it's all about the package. And that's really what we try to do here at Integrated is develop that package. And that starts from logo to branding to stationery to everything that we put out there. Clients, prospects, and the CPA partners they work with need to see that the advisor is relevant. They're staying on top of industry trends and always at the forefront of planning ideas and updates. And our mission as a team, whether it's at InTouch or Integrated as a whole, is always to position our advisor as a thought leader. So in order to keep them focused, we really use InTouch to do that, and then try to determine, a plan of what other items to fit in to keep their marketing plan tailored and keep the advisor on point.
Now you mentioned InTouch, so let's touch on that. InTouch is so innovative and different in this industry. I've been covering and following this industry for so long. When I came here, I was so impressed by InTouch. But I'm not going to steal the thunder. Tell me a little about InTouch. I know it's your baby. I know it's really a part of you. So talk to me about InTouch and what it does for our advisors.
So InTouch is definitely my passion project. When I was hired at Integrated back in 2001, I was one of many marketing consultants, and we were all given a list of advisors, and we were basically tasked with creating marketing campaigns for those advisors and just kind of doing whatever they wanted us to do. If they had a need, we jumped. And obviously marketing was quite different in 2001. A majority of what we did was in print and snail mail. But what was happening is our team was creating all of these campaigns for advisors. And when we would circle back to see what those results were, what we found out is that nothing happened. They didn't send that letter out, or they didn't get the invitation out. And at that point in time, we were also bringing on our very first CPA partner as part of our professional partner program. So CPAs were getting licensed, and they could now offer access to financial planning services and wealth management services, but they were too busy running their CPA practices to get the message out to the clients and actually market. So we found ourselves at a standstill, and InTouch was really born out of a frustration breakthrough. So being able to work with Paul Saganey and the tremendous visionary that he is, we built InTouch because we essentially wanted to take the marketing out of the hands of our advisors, so that we could do the work behind the scenes and implement the marketing on their behalf. So the foundation of what we built in 2003 is pretty much the same concept and approach that we use today with our advisors and our CPA partners. And we have evolved and pivoted as, the market shifts and the industry shifts, but it's really been this wonderful evolution and really a staple in a lot of advisors' practices right now.
That's a really interesting turn of phrase, frustration breakthrough. So what was that frustration point that you guys reached and that got you to this great breakthrough that was InTouch Innovations?
So I think Paul had done the math, and we had a number of CPAs that were joining us. And at that point in time, they were getting fully licensed. And I think when Paul had done the math, let's just say there were 10,000 clients that we had access to, and they weren't getting any information. So what happens there? The number one reason why a business fails is because people don't know they exist or that they offer those services. So that's really where the frustration breakthrough came, is that we knew we were sitting on something and we had this access. And then what we knew we needed to build something so that we could, change that and get the information out to the clients, and not only tell them that the CPAs now were offering these financial planning services, but that we could also offer help in ideas and planning opportunities. And that's when things really came together.
It's that access without information creates anonymity, which is the kiss of death for any business. And you gave them an easy way because, okay, so now we've said, marketing's evolved, but at that time, when you're sitting there in those early days, advisors are willing to market as long as they're putting more work into it. You're able to make this an easy set it and forget it solution too, right?
Absolutely. And that's really the beauty today too, when we're meeting with advisors, whether they're new advisors or some of our legacy advisors that have been here forever. If we offer suggestions and campaign ideas, the beauty of it is that we can say, we can offer this suggestion, but also offer the tools and support to do it on their behalf. And that's the answer. The advisors don't want to get sidelined or sidetracked with the nuances of marketing and all the little steps that they need to take in order to get something done. So we feel really good about how we can do this on behalf of the advisors and get it out the door for them using our proprietary software.
Getting it out the door, that distribution that InTouch provides is really incredible because, for so long, I created content for a long time, but, without a microphone, you're not going to hear this podcast. So really that's what makes InTouch so amazing to me as kind of the newbie here, is that it gives you that automatic distribution. You're not playing the kind of hit and pray route of social media or, golly, I hope somebody sees this in public relations. And all those are good routes too, don't get me wrong. But this puts an inroad directly to your clients, and you're able to kind of see the data to back it up too, right?
Absolutely. And that's the other thing too, is that we always get the question, well, how do I know that this is going to work? And I always say, these are the ideas, this is what we'll implement for you, but let's let the metrics tell us the full story. Let's let the metrics tell us the results. And that's the beauty of InTouch, is that the advisors can log into their database at any time to see not only who read their emails, but who clicked on links within emails. And that's a great way to make follow-up calls, to see who's engaging with content so they can ask, better questions during meetings or send follow-up emails. It's just wonderful that we can really take this full circle, and that really can help us tell the results. The other thing too is that we also get a lot of our feedback from advisors and their clients. So just hearing the feedback and just how much clients appreciate the content and how much it helps the advisors and their team. This week, an advisor's admin emailed me and just said, thank you for making my life easier. So it really just takes the grunt work off the staff's plate.
It's so amazing. You mentioned before that idea of you're a guest in the advisor's home. And if I learned anything from my mother, you never show up to a guest house empty-handed. And that really is what you're able to do with InTouch, is you're not showing up empty-handed. You have ideas, but you also have execution. And that's really key. But you also must have some advisors that want to customize. They love set it and forget it. Ron Popeil was a hero for a reason, but you have this amazing ability to get kind of advisors over the line. How do you walk that line between customization and ease of use?
That's a great question. And you're right. So many advisors are looking for customization, and they want to set themselves away from the pack. They want to be different, or as Paul says, DICE, different, impactful, compelling, and exciting. And we have such a unique way of writing all of our campaigns, between the email campaigns that we all do, or the blogs, or video campaigns. Everything is so unique. And truthfully, a lot of clients do believe that the advisor is writing their own weekly emails. And we've seen that, many times where based on what the clients say, but usually custom content and ideas for those advisors that still want to put their own spin on things, we give our advisors a ton of options. A lot of advisors come and they're used to writing their own monthly market update. And that's something that we can support, whether they want to write it themselves and we just design it, or they want a little bit of assistance. Others will roll out their own blogs that you're doing a wonderful job with some of our advisors, or they want to create custom video content for their niche market. Those are all things that our team will handhold and will walk the advisors through the process and support them along the way. So what we just try to, listen, take a step back and listen to what the advisors truly want to do and then help them run with it. I'd say a majority of advisors do enjoy the set it and forget it approach, and only do the customization when they really feel it's necessary.
Now, you mentioned content a couple times. Sometimes customized, sometimes it's stuff you're putting out on the regular, but content and marketing go to hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly here. So how do you see that relationship between content and marketing?
So content is something in my world that's always been a struggle in the past. Just obviously, I've been here for over 20 years, and sometimes my answer is we can do whatever we want. Sky's the limit, but we just need the right content. And just like anything else, content in marketing is like a marriage, and it takes a lot of work. But it also takes, a lot of time to find that right fit. How do you present the material in a quick and easy format? What topics are going to get and hold the reader's attention? What's going to position the advisor as the best thought leader? But when you do say peanut butter and jelly, the first thing that comes to mind is Matt and Becca, because I think that you joining our firm and our very different take on content and marketing. And I think it's just the perfect marriage. I always say I'm vanilla in terms of what I put out there, and you come in with the zazzle. And what we're really finding is that, not only the advisors, but their contacts all are just really loving our new spin on content and marketing and how we present topics that are important to them.
And I appreciate that, but I don't think I'm giving away any of our secret sauce here saying this out loud, because to be honest, it's so much of it, what we do is about teamwork. I think that great content begins with an idea, a topic. It then usually there's a few bullets or stuff you want to get to. Here's the 3 tips we want to get to, or here's this. But it also requires, if we're going to keep going with different ice cream analogies here, it requires some sprinkles on top or a cherry. It's got to have something that makes you want to dive in. So sometimes it's very funny to me, because I bet you and I have very different browser histories, different things we're watching on Netflix. And I think that's why it works, is because, most advisors don't have people in their offices that are thinking the way we are, or saying, or looking out and saying, okay, well, this is happening in 3 weeks and we need something written about that, or, hey, the markets are happening here. You take a very high level view, while, sometimes it's a goofy analogy that I'm putting together that can just be put on top of that. And to me, that's the magic is just, first of all, leave your ego at the door. Second of all, do the work. And I think that's really why it's worked so well with you and I with content and marketing, from my perspective, at least.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Every time we come up with an idea, and then whether I provide bullets or you provide bullets, what I see back, there are sometimes like, I never would have thought of that. I'm chuckling because even the email that we sent out this week, you came back with a couple of phrases from songs or song ideas. And sure enough, as I was reading it, I could not get those 2 songs out of my head, which told me, you know what? Clients are going to do the same thing. And when they think of those songs, they're going to think of the advisor. And it's just exactly what we want to do.
And I may have showed my age in those songs because one of them was a Rolling Stone song, and a person that I admire a great deal at our firm who's a little younger than us was like, I don't know what song that is. And I'm like, yeah, but the clients definitely will. That is a classic Rolling Stone song, and I stand behind it. And the great thing about where we're at Integrated is they went, okay, if you believe in it, great. Content marketing, that's you guys' bucket. That's your jam, where we trust you guys. And that, I think, to me, that's been the biggest difference to me from here is like, okay, we trust you, go for it. And that's just an amazing place to be.
Absolutely. And that's, that allows us as creatives to thrive for sure, is when we are allowed to think freely and kind of get creative and pick the topics and the words that are really going to stick out.
Yeah. And now, once you have content and you had that idea, we talked a little about amplification a moment ago with InTouch. You've probably seen a lot of amplification fads through the years. What do you find are some of the best methods for amplifying the message to get marketing to get to that next level?
So, well, first of all, I love that word amplification. When we first develop a campaign or when we first talk to an advisor, what I'm always thinking about is how are we best going to get visibility and traction for this message? So obviously we all know marketing is a multi-prong approach. You can't just do one thing and expect big results. So I feel that email marketing for financial advisors has really stood the test of time. I never thought something that we built in 2003 would still hold its own today. But when you're talking about staying in front of your own clients and your own network, email marketing is still such a powerful tool to use, and it's still very relevant. But as you said, there's other tools out there too, and it's not the only way. So when we prepare a campaign through InTouch, we make sure that not only is it deployed via email, but then they can also be posted to an advisor's approved social media platforms. And we'll even go so far as to take that and create a banner ad if someone needs a banner ad, if someone wants to do, a sign for a field or an advertisement someplace else. We are able to pivot and take that same message and apply it elsewhere. You do a great job taking the topics and then creating an extended piece through the advisor's blog channel or even a video. So we're able to, a great example is what we'll do when you write a blog with one of our advisors and just walking through our process. I get the blog. I'll develop an InTouch campaign through that blog. Once the campaign goes out, if they click, we drive people to the advisor's website. That same email campaign is then posted to LinkedIn, to Facebook. When someone clicks on it, they see the email campaign, which drives to the website. And then we'll even add the blog campaign to an advisor's email signature if they choose to get more amplification that way. And you'll even, reach out to various medias and platforms to see if someone wants to pick up that blog. So there's so many ways to get amplification on one little thing. So I always say, if we're going to put the work in and do something, let's go big and make sure we're thinking across the board.
So that's really the key here. You take an idea, you take that nugget, and you find lots of different tentacles out there. So, social media, sure, let's give that a shot. Email marketing, obviously, you mentioned the power of that. Great, we're going to leverage that over here. So it's like you're going to fight a battle on a lot of fronts here, air, sea, land. You're going to make sure that wherever that client is, they're going to hear your message. And ultimately, it's about helping that advisor to stand out. That's such a great message there. That the answer is whatever amplification you have at your fingertips, let's make it work for you. That's a great point. It's funny to me because we've both seen a lot of third-party marketing firms out there working with advisors. And for smaller advisors that don't have the budget for in-house marketing teams, that can be great. What do you think of some of the third-party marketing firms out there right now?
I think there are so many great platforms out there. I've kicked the tires on a few. I'd say there's no one best option. I think it really is about every advisor. You wouldn't give the same financial plan to every client. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend the same marketing platform to every advisor. I think it really depends on what marketing is going to best support the advisor's client base. How do they receive information and what's going to resonate best with them? But then it also depends on the advisor's personal needs, their growth goals, and their business objectives, not to mention their level of staff. If an advisor doesn't have staff, it's going to be very hard for them to use a marketing platform that requires them to set up the campaigns, pick the topics. So that's where I always feel like InTouch is really good, because they just have to say yes, or yes, I want to join InTouch, or no, I don't, approve their templates. And then it's just, set it and forget it. But there are other platforms out there where if an advisor has a marketing support person, some of these other platforms might be easy for them to get set up and continue using on an ongoing basis. But at the end of the day, we just don't want to bog our advisors down with the many nuances that come with executing on their marketing.
Incredible insights. So what's your big message to advisors when it comes to a great marketing strategy? What can advisors do to get started so ultimately they can soar?
I'd say number one, determine what's holding you back from pursuing your marketing goals. And once you decide that, find the right team that's going to help you, that's going to help support you and help you grow. It's all about, we say this at Integrated every day. I think we had a conversation about this morning, but it's all about the team and the teamwork. And, none of us could do what we do on our own. It's just all about the team and the great people that we have around us. And we're so fortunate here at Integrated to have that.
Yeah. Teamwork is often talked about. I mean, I always say people that talk too much about culture probably don't have a good one. We don't use that word a lot out loud, but it's essentially, like I said, that ego, putting that aside, and ultimately, listen, when it comes to content and marketing, and it comes to any team, there's going to be people having good days and people having bad days. And the key to any good team is that you pick each other up when you're having that. I've coached a long time, Becca, that with baseball, and I find the best teams I've ever coached have a mentality in the lineup like, hey, you're not swinging the bat well today, I got you. Just, keep passing the baton, trust the guy behind you in the lineup. And that's definitely the truth here at Integrated.
Absolutely. And you're always there, and every week we all have busy weeks, or the support that we all receive from each other is just amazing.
I agree. So I like to wrap up my podcast with a question from CJ. CJ is my 10-year-old son. And I told him about how I love working with you on a daily basis. And he asked, what's the most annoying part of working with my dad every day? For CJ, he said it's the dad jokes, or maybe it's how happy he always is. Anyway, no, definitely the dad jokes. So CJ wants to know what you find to be the most annoying part of working with me every day.
Oh my goodness. I don't even think that's possible. CJ will hate my response for sure. But I have to say that, Matt, you are such a bright light, and having you join our firm has been so wonderful. Selfishly, especially for me, I've always had this vision of my dream marketing department, and Paul's always given me, the space to have this marketing department of my dreams, and having you as part of together that we can build this team and get your unique insights into the marketing world has just been a dream for me. So CJ will hate me, but I actually like the dad jokes too.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it. You mentioned before you feel you're a little bit vanilla sometimes, but the secret to any good ice cream place is how good their vanilla ice cream is. Vanilla is the foundation of every other flavor. If I walk into an ice cream place and they have a bad vanilla, I'm walking out of there. So the truth is you're the foundation here, and it all comes from that. So Becca, thank you so much for today's conversation. I think everyone could feel the mutual love we have. And I think at the end of the day, marketing is what's going to take every advisor from here to there. Thanks so much, Becca.
Thank you.
Content in this material is for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Integrated Partners, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Becca Zophin is Chief Marketing Officer with Integrated Partners and with InTouch Innovations. InTouch Innovations is a separate entity and not affiliated with Integrated Partners and LPL Financial.